Okay, here's another short video about my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I posted a video recently about how to cure switchgear problems, and this is another video about a problem I've had for 3 weeks now, which is the fluctuating speedo needle. It's started going up and down, 20-30 miles an hour between swings on it. Occasionally it stops working completely, fluctuated wildly, and then it's okay. Now, I looked on YouTube and the internet and so on, and people have replaced the entire speedo assembly at about 106 quid, I think. Other people have replaced this entire assembly, which is the actual speedo sensor there, which is a plastic thing with a magnet that spins. Now, they've replaced that and the whole cable and block connector at the top under the belief that the sensor's not working properly. Well, all it is a spinning magnet. It's a rotating magnet, and this thing here that's held in by that Allen bolt is just a little probe. It's just a magnetic sensor, the sort of thing you get on an electric push bike, a crank sensor. So there isn't really anything to break or go wrong unless you've damaged the magnet by heating it up or hitting it or something. So it occurred to me that people have put new drives on at 42 quid, including the cable, and then 3 months later they've had exactly the same problem. So as I drove along, I was jiggling about with the cable itself, and I realised that it's quite clear that it's the cable. It's not the clocks, it's not the drive at the bottom, or the sensor, it's the wire, and it's a very hard vinyl kind of wire. And when you look at the front suspension as you drive along, obviously not for too long, it's bouncing up and down like crazy. It really is sort of bending that wire again and again. So what I did was I snipped the wire, the original wire right there, and I bared the it's only three wires in that cable. I bared the 3 of them, and I did a continuity test using a multimeter, and the blue and white wire had got a break in it, because all the other 2 were fine, but if I tried the blue and white one and jiggled the wire or bent it a bit, it was intermittently not making a circuit. It was quite clear there was a fracture in that wire. So what I did was I bought 3-core alarm sensor cable, or a sensor cable, I think it is, on eBay, for the amazing price of 3 quid. It's 3-core, and instead of being PVC, it's a rubbery sort of cable. I cut and soldered the 3 wires onto the wires coming out of the sensor. I put shrink tubing around each individual wire, and then I put a larger piece of shrink tubing over the whole 3 of them and sealed it. I used the original bobbin there, which comes off. It's slightly glued onto the original cable at the top when it comes off. Through the clamp here, there's a little clamp there, look. And then again, the same at the headlamp end, there is a 3-block connector. So to use the original wiring harness block, I'll snip the 3 wires and soldered them, same thing. I've just taken the bike out for a good long test drive, and it's completely cured the problem. So when you read on the net, you need a new sensor, I don't think so. Or, heaven forbid, you need new clocks, where you end up with a new rev counter, a new, the whole thing at 100 quid plus. I've read on the net that people have bought new speedos and still have the same problem. Well, you will if the cable's got a fracture in it, no matter how many speedos you put on. So if you've got this fluctuating speedo needle problem, the first thing I would do is replace that cable. And it's pennies to do. The only thing you have to watch out for, your colour coding on your new cable will be different from what's actually on the bike. So just write it down. So, you might say, well, the cable I used here was brown, blue and black. So I just wrote it down, the blue and white from the sensor goes to the blue cable on the new one. Black and green, I think one of them is, goes to black on the new cable. Just record it so that you get it at the same at each end, obviously. And then I've just literally plugged it in and taken it for a good long ride, and it's absolutely cured it. And I've had that fluctuating needle for 3 weeks, and it's completely cured it. So, you know, £3 and half an hour with a soldering iron. So I hope that helps some people, and hopefully it will save you some money, because I know people have gone out paying, as I say, £42 for the actual sensor drive, and 100 plus for the clocks. So try your bit of wire first, and hopefully that might help some people. Okay, see you later.